Aloft is a game that came out and actually kind of inspired us to really play the game in kind of a new eye and perspective, to really sort of the crowds and kind of reach a different perspective when it came to survival games. We have a community manager for Aloft here to talk about their 2025 plans and their roadmap.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me on here. It's a pleasure to be here. This is my first podcast ever. It's really an exciting opportunity for me. And thank you for the kind words. Aloft has been quite a success in its first month. Um, and it's just a testament to all the hard work that the devs put in and the support from the community and our publisher Funcom. So it's been a great journey so far, and I'm looking forward to what's to come.
For our folks listening to this interview, can you tell us your name and what you actually do for Aloft as a community manager?
Yeah. So my name is Hayley. I'm the community and marketing manager at Astrolabe Interactive. My role is, well, I wear many hats, but primarily my role is to manage the community Discord, our marketing initiatives. I work very closely with our partners at Funcom. I also take care of managing playtests, the Steam page. I publish devlogs. I write and publish devlogs, patch notes, and more. I do content creation. I support our wiki editors and our content creators with assets and anything they might need for their work. Yeah, that's a little bit of everything I do at Astrolab.
That is a lot of hats, but it's awesome. You can definitely see the amount of effort that you put into the community and
Thank
time
you.
because we were doing our research, folks, and almost every interaction we saw with Haley was just positive, very professional, but still very approachable.
Thank you.
And I can't say enough about that. But to the topic at hand, the roadmap for Aloft. This came out literally, I think, 2 days before you guys posted the early access. And why did you guys choose to post the roadmap when you just literally put out the early access?
So we decided to release the roadmap ahead of launch in order to be transparent with our community and potential buyers. Since the game was released into early access, it was very important for us to be clear and honest with what players can expect down the line ahead of purchase so that they can make an informed decision.
This one seems like there's a lot of goals here that are accomplishable, but are still great achievements to be putting into the game. Like they're not like, oh yeah, we're going to do one small thing here or there. There are those as well, but there are also large things here that are a little bit more encompassing without going into too much detail, but enough for a person like me to be all like, oh, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this, or I can't wait to see this improved or refined. And one of them I would have to say right away is quality of life. Everyone talks about quality of life nowadays. And it's really cool because Aloft itself already has a lot of quality of life improvements. And right away, you guys say multiple UX and UI improvements. You have table map improvements, added Steam Workshop functionality, added tutorial quests, more diversity, islands, and points of interest in the quality of life of your roadmap. What kind of feedback shapes this quality of life for you folks?
The feedback from the community is of utmost value to us and our roadmap. Um, we often get suggestions for like inventory management or UI improvements and stuff like that. So these are all things we take into account for the quality of life updates. We have a suggestions channel on our Discord where players can, it's actually a forum, so players can search quite easily in the forum to see if someone else has already posted a suggestion, and they can upvote it or add more context if they wish. Some even create visuals as to what can be improved. So these are all things that we'll take into account for quality of life. Um, I think this also includes stuff like bug fixes and optimization and server improvements, which go into UI and UX updates or improvements.
One of the things that stood out to me right away was more diversity of islands and points of interest. What kind of things can players expect from a loft to be changing and improving in the future with this roadmap?
So the level designers are always working on new handcrafted islands. We try to add more points of interest in sense of abandoned ruins and kind of lore tidbits, stuff that were left behind by previous travelers, so that the players can really explore what happened here, who lived here, and ask those questions. And why aren't they here anymore? Why is all this stuff left behind? So the level designers are constantly working on islands like that tell a story, but also points of interest like that we call PQPs. These are platforms that can spawn onto islands that offer some sort of reward or lost atlas, some sort of discovery or rare item. We're adding two new Wonder Islands, which are these two islands that we're adding in this update are very kind of like the lore ruined abandoned buildings that I mentioned before, but they won't always be like that. Sometimes they are just planar islands that players can utilize for their own homes. Sometimes they could be, well, in the future, they could be life trees. And yeah, there's just diversity, different types of islands, different types of sub biomes per biome, more ways to keep the player engaged and exploring the lore of Aloft.
What makes you most excited about the roadmap that's been shown to the community?
So, firstly, sharing the roadmap, finally, it felt like a really strong and powerful way to kick off the new year. When I joined the team in 2023, they had a roadmap out for the pre alpha demo. That had mostly been checked off by the time I joined, so the community was very eager to hear more about what was coming, and it was really rewarding to finally share this definitive news with them. Personally, I'm most excited for critters, life trees, social interactions, and a new biome.
Ooh. Okay, let's talk about critters though. What critters are coming? Like, can you tell us? What little snippets can you give us?
Critters, creepy crawlies, very cute, cuddly creatures. I think by the time this podcast is out, the update will be out, so I'll share a little bit more. We have many varieties of butterflies coming, birds, some bugs that were already in the game are now will have animations, and there's new bugs coming. Frogs, bats, jerboas, lizards, you name it. Bunch of cute, cuddly, creepy crawler friends that can be interacted with, and a lot more. You'll have to see in the update.
Now, quick question about these critters, butterflies, creeper crawlies, and stuff. Are they going to have more of a purpose, kind of more towards like the ecosystem that you do have to
Absolutely.
restore on some islands, or are they just going to be collectibles?
So they all contribute to ecosystems, which is really, really great. Not only are they beautiful and fun to interact with, but they can be added to ecosystems that need them to improve the health of the ecosystem.
Nice. Now, one of the things I experienced was that you could technically be putting down the beetles and stuff already in the game before this update comes out. But I kind of was interested. Have you guys ever explored the possibility of introducing new species to maybe your home island? Will give other perks and benefits, like maybe trees grow a little bit faster or farm plots and stuff grow a little bit better?
I think these are ideas that we may include down the line. We have plans to, on our roadmap, to update the kind of day to day activities at home. So I have a feeling that, well, first of all, you can definitely add critters to your home and build fancy vivariums for them, which is just so much fun, and it's a beautiful way to showcase them, but also give them a nice, safe habitat to live in. Um, will they have some island benefits or buffs in the future? It's possible. I think definitely in terms of farming, I think fertilizer could be an option. Bugs, bees, especially for pollination, stuff like that. I think these are all concepts we have, but nothing is set in stone yet.
Well, enough of my daydreaming about these crazy ideas. But you said life trees. When you say life trees, what do you mean by that?
So, life trees are going to be these really kind of magical, beautiful, enchanting trees that are on a specific island. And it's not fully fleshed out yet, but I can say that you will have to restore. all of the ecosystems in a particular sector in order to restore the life tree. And the life tree will have its own chamber and special rewards and secrets.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like a life tree from like the Final Fantasy series and stuff like this big huge tree, and you're all like,
Mhm.
wow, look at that. Hopefully
Yeah.
they're explorable. I'm kind of excited
Yes.
to see like if there's places you can go into them and or jump around the
Absolutely.
branches and stuff.
I
But
think, sorry, I think we do have plans to make it like an explorable experience. And I think we also plan to have the life tree, once healed or once all the sectors are healed, to buff the rest of the islands in those sectors, maybe with conditions or, like you mentioned before, like buffs to farming and stuff like that. So, all to be determined, but definitely something I'm personally really excited for.
now, this kind of ties into the next thing I'm going to ask about the roadmap, and it's in your feature and improvements section. And we see combat improvements and rewards, but there's also new monster, possible monster tiers. And I'm kind of excited about the monster tiers and the combat improvements because the monsters we've already been fighting in the game so far are quite diverse. But everyone always likes a new monster to fight. What kind of monsters can we expect to possibly see in the new future updates?
We have some concepts for a few different monsters and also tiers. By tiers, I mean different strains of fungal infection. So the one that's currently in the game is Mictor, but we do have plans to add Sportox and Flogade as different strains of corruption. I imagine that those will be harder to battle. You might need to upgrade your equipment or something like that. And we do have a more of like a boss um, enemy planned. I think that's called the Devourer, and we have another one the Leecher. That's the other one. So it's the Leecher and the Devourer, and maybe more. Wait, we'll have to see. But with the tiers, it should add a lot of variety. In terms of combat specific updates, I'm not sure exactly where we're heading with that yet. But we do want to make it more engaging and a little bit less repetitive, a little bit less, whack the node and reap your rewards, a little bit more diverse in that sense.
Nice. So, from a personal perspective, what combat improvements do you think could be in the game that would make your experience as a player better?
I think making more use of combat maneuvers can make combat a lot more interesting, and maybe some enemies, almost like the Shrieker who is airbound, add like a different element. Like you have to maybe attack them from like with a ranged weapon, like a bow and arrow, or maybe the level design will encourage you to approach the enemies from a different way. I think the nodes can be more engaging as well. Maybe the weak points can be designed differently or a little bit more challenging to just to make the experience a little bit less repetitive. Um, I think there's also some balancing that might be done to the enemies, the nodes, and yeah, more stuff like that.
Nice. I definitely enjoy some of those ideas. I think one of my own would be to make it so there's a little bit more variety in the weapons you use to fight the
Hmm.
fungal might be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe some things are a little bit more guarded, so you have to use a bow and arrow to be able to do
Hmm.
a little bit better. But I also kind of hope in the future that maybe the more people you have in your world playing with you in co-op, the harder the enemies become. If that's already assumed, I
Yeah.
do apologize. But
Um, I don't think they are balanced differently in single and multiplayer because of the way our systems work. Like importing, you can import any character into a multiplayer session, but that session could also be single player. But it would make sense down the line to balance the experience from solo to multi because um, it is a lot more challenging in solo to defeat the enemies that surround you and defeat the node. So it would make sense to balance that in the future.
But enough about my opinions about this. The building pieces and decorations segment of this roadmap, we have so many cool things here. Tons of new building options, materials, food decorations, accessories for animals, training dummies, mannequins for clothes, condition rewards for building. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple more things, but just looking at that list gets me kind of excited because I like base building in video games. And I like it when it has a purpose. And you guys have definitely made base building in this game have a real purpose. So I'm kind of excited about the new building options and materials. I'm always loving finding new things to build with. And with your guys' self-discovery system of every time you find a new material or you craft something new, it shows potential new things to build. I love that. So what kind of new materials can we find?
Um, it's hard to say at the moment exactly what materials, but definitely each thematic update or content update will likely come with new building and decor. I know we have a lot planned for animal pens and animal husbandry. We have gates planned, we have beds planned, accessories for animals, stuff like that. I think a new biome will definitely bring about a new material that will bring about new constructions and new items to craft with, new decor, stuff like that. We have a many concepts. It's just a matter of grouping them sort of into thematic updates and trying to make the updates make sense and align with the vision of the game.
Well, I just want to let our and or remind our reviewers out there that this is a talk about the roadmap and what is potentially here to come. Nothing is certain, nothing is concrete, and please do not take anything said in here as direct proof of something to come because video games are always dynamic and fluid and they're
Mhm.
always changing. It kind of does bring up a good option our viewers will probably want to know. How will the roadmap be tackled? Will it be random items or will it be a certain order?
So, like I said, as much as possible, we're trying to group items into thematic updates, like our upcoming Critters and Wonders update, which will cross off a few items in the roadmap. Some items will remain as ongoing, such as like point of interests and island diversity. We have a sort of soft order of what we want to prioritize, but we're trying to remain as flexible as possible in order to pivot based on community feedback. And each content update will also come with its own share of bug fixes, quality of life improvements, and more. So it's it's fun for us to share these content updates, but it's also important for us to fix any pain points in the game. So players can expect content as well as just general improvements to overall gameplay.
And see, that's one thing I actually like about Aloft is not only the fact that you guys are focusing on this roadmap and giving you content, but like you said, you want to go back, you want to make sure you fix these bugs, improve things for the players. But
Mhm.
you guys are also very transparent, and your Discord is one of the best places to tell you about bugs and problems. And I highly suggest folks, if you can, the link to their Discord will be in the description, and there'll be a little link above her nice head, letting you know the Discord to go and the Discord's really well laid out. Report the bugs, let them know, and they can keep improving this game because again, the players are the ones that always find the weirdest of bugs because no matter how much you test, there's always something you don't know about.
It amazes me what the players can find. I mean, we have a whole QA team that is fabulous and professional and so good. But when you release a game, it's such a um, wide range of players and areas and connections, servers, stuff like that. It's really and just gameplay styles. It's really interesting to see what they find. We all have a good laugh sometimes, and so do the players. I mean, they everyone really has a good attitude, and like you said, our Discord is the best way to report bugs, come talk with us, see what we're up to, stay informed. But you can also use the in game bug reporter tool to directly submit a report with a screenshot, and you can explain the context and the situation, and it goes directly to our QA team. So both good ways to report bugs, help us out, and ultimately improving the game from the player perspective all the way up to dev. So
This is a 2025 roadmap, and I'm sure we're going to get questions. But is this the roadmap to released from early access, like 1.0 or whatever, or is this the roadmap of just what to expect in 2025?
So the roadmap is just what players should expect in 2025 for early access. Anything beyond the roadmap is to be determined. We have concepts, we have ideas, but nothing is set in stone yet. So just what to expect for this year.
So it has been a pleasure to have you on here talking about Aloft and your guys' 2025 roadmap. And we got some slight glimpses into what is to come. But do you have any final thoughts, shout outs, or appreciation you wish to throw out?
Firstly, thank you, State of Survival podcast, for having me on here. Like I said, it's my first podcast, so this is really exciting for me, and it's really exciting to talk with a professional in the space. Um, I'm a huge shout out and thank you, of course, to our studio, Astrolabe Interactive, all the talented devs that I work alongside with, our supportive publisher, Funcom, and finally, the lovely community of Aloft, the game and community would not be the success and lovely space it is without you. So, huge shout out to them and huge shout out to Steve. May he live on forever.
Well, folks, thank you very much for joining us as we had the rare and beautiful chance to be able to talk with the community and marketing manager Haley about the Aloft 2025 roadmap and get, again, like I said earlier, a small glimpse into what is coming. If you folks have any comments, concerns, bug reports, or anything else, feel free to go down to their Discord down in the description below or check out their socials. Give them some love, comments, retweet, or even just message them. This has
Thank
been
you.
the State of Survival podcast. Thank you very much for watching. To talk for now.